Hey everybody! We're on our way home right now. Little road trip. We're both a little tired.
We are a little tired.
We look like we slept on our face the past 2 days, which we kind of did. So.
And I'm going to do this talk and try not to run us off the road, right?
Mom's driving.
As we're doing this.
Yeah, no, but we are on our way home right now from Kripalu, which is in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. So it's about just under 6 hours away from the bake shop and Burlington. And we went to go and see one of our most amazingly awesome leaders. And yes, she's just so awesome. Her name's Gabby Bernstein, and she has helped me so much in my life, and I know with Mom's life as well too, has helped her so immensely. And we just had such a great weekend, and there was just so much inspiration flowing, and it was really, really great. So
we had I mean, when you're with someone like that, and it's so different to read, you know, her books and stuff, but when you're actually immersed in it for that period of time, and there's maybe 300 people.
Yeah.
I didn't even actually ask.
Yeah, I think about 300.
So there's 300 people there, of course mostly women, like 98% women. I think there was like 4 or 5 guys. And when you're immersed in that kind of energy, in that small room, you know, you can't help but, you know, get shifted, and because you're just surrounded by all these fairies and angels and this energy that's just this vortex that just takes you in.
Mm-hmm.
So we were definitely touched. She's a magical person, and I'm so grateful that, you know, she's been a part of our journey on so many levels. She's just this amazing person, and has taught me so much. And I'm grateful that it was just one day when I mentioned to you, it was how many years ago now, Erinn? I said, have you checked out Gabby Bernstein?
Yeah, that's going to be a whole story in itself. So
right?
what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys kind of like a snapshot right now, but we're going to write a nice blog about it and probably do another nice video about
There's
the
so much
experience,
to talk about,
and then add it to the book as to like just how much Gabby has, first of all, impacted my life, and just what an incredible inspiration she's been for me, and has helped me through some really kind of like difficult personal things as well too that I've gone through in the past. And she's just amazing. So one of her books, the book that we kind of played off of this weekend, is The Universe Has Your Back. And she has, I think, about 5 books now, and they're all New York Times best-selling books. So you can only imagine how phenomenal all of these
and she's
books are.
On her website, GabbyBernstein.com, she has a membership site, and
yeah.
so there's a lot of depth to her information. She's a New York Times bestseller. Did you mention that already?
I did.
Sorry.
She's just focused on the road. She's not paying attention.
It's like we're going through Albany, New York right now, and there's like all these drivers that are going like crawling in the passing lane.
Is Kelly having road rage? Oh boy.
I'm
kidding.
Stuck behind these people.
I'm kidding.
We're going like 100 kilometers an hour.
Well, that's the speed limit, isn't it, Kelly? You should be speeding.
I don't know what it is here in the U.S. actually.
I think it's 65, which is like 110 or something. Anyways, okay, sorry. Stay on the 90 before you screw up here.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so anyways, we just wanted to kind of share with you guys that we are on our way back home right now. And we just had a really awesome time with Gabby this weekend.
What I was actually shocked. I want to talk a bit about it, because there was some really warm, touching moments. One in particular when you know, it was a lot of question and answers, and there was a woman that stood up and shared the mic and shared her story. And when she was 41 years old, her husband of 19 years was suddenly killed. Her last conversation with him was, what potatoes do you want for dinner? And then, like,
he just never came home.
A little, you know, hour or two later, she gets the phone call that her husband had been killed.
Yeah.
And then she tries to grasp that concept in her life, and she goes deeper and tries to heal, and she ends up falling in love with a friend of theirs. I guess she had a friend for a number of years, and she was cautious, but said, you know, what the heck, let's go for it. And she did. So she got engaged to this guy, and just prior to their wedding, he was killed. Like, and so everyone, we're all crying and dealing with that, and it was like like you can't imagine that pain and suffering of what she went through. And anyway, so she's found her way through it, and somehow she ended up finding Gabby Bernstein, and here she is, you know. And sorry, we're going through a toll right now, guys.
Hold on.
So we didn't know that we were going to be doing this.
Hold on 1 second.
How are you?
There we go. Thank you. Yes, so a lot of really incredible stories we
left to stay
heard
on I-90 West
this weekend.
Right, and so I want to add to that a bit, so that her story was
continue on I-90 West
this
for
grief
277 miles.
To be able to help people deal with grief in their life. Like this is going to end up being her story because of the therapy and the things that she's done and finding her way through finding the love and the reason for all of this, you know, we call negativity happening to us in our life, is happened for a reason, right? There's an absolute reason why she had this happen to her. And this grief that she's struggling with, there's so many others of us that are dealing with profound grief in our life. What better person to teach people about grief than someone who has experienced something to that magnitude, right?
Yeah, they've been through it.
So we are all being given these stories and these lessons, and then the lessons that we get, this is how we get our stories that get cultivated from it, and how we can maneuver our ways through life to find more compassion and love, and to lead either in love or you're either leading in fear. And that's was a massive take home for me, was about having compassion for people in our lives, and everybody, from our relationships to our husbands, wives,
or to people you don't even know,
people you don't even know, right? Your kids, everybody. And I was amazed at the number of divorcing women there. So there were women there in extraordinary numbers that were trying to decide whether to leave their spouse or not. And I found that absolutely mind-blowing. But then, did I? You know,
I know. It's so prevalent.
But it is the emerging way of society now that, and what we find too is that us women, we go to other women to heal and find answers where men retreat, right? They go off to their boy cave and whatever they do and find reasons to react and go back to their more childlike self. I mean, we all do that. We all go back to our childlike self. But I found it remarkable that these women actually wanted to make this a beautiful conscious decision as to whether they should be staying or leaving. And I think that a lot of people got their answers over the weekend, and it was and a lot of the answers were what Gabby had suggested and other people suggested too, and it's my experience as well too, is that if your husband isn't willing to do the work,
or if your partner, your significant other
isn't willing to do the work, then at that point is then when you can make that decision to,
if it's time to leave,
to leave or to stay. And that's very telling, because if you're there at Gabby's place, or if you're there doing work and self-help and going into therapy, and he says no to therapy, or your partner says no to therapy, then you know what your answer is.
Right.
So I found that really remarkable, that there was a great number of women in that predicament and trying to make the right decision.
It was just overall just a very beautiful experience, you know, having just the energy in the room that I think was created over the last, 48, 72 hours was just extremely powerful. So by the end of it today, when we literally just left an hour ago, it was like vibrating just at the highest frequency I think I've personally ever felt. Everybody just felt so connected, and it was just a very beautiful experience overall. And it's really neat when you get a group of like-minded people in the same room, the kind of change and the kind of learning that can happen. We did
that,
right?
healing meditation, the Raman Dasa, and I actually felt my hands, and I'm driving, no hands. I felt my hands go on fire.
It was very.
It was just like radiating through the room, and then Gabby's doing it, and everyone, like, it was just, man, it was so cool. So we got some really good footage, guys, and we got I did a few little recordings of Gabby, and we're so looking forward to sharing this.
We are, and so this is just kind of our way of just initially sharing our experience with Gabby at Kripalu this weekend, so we're just driving home right now from Kripalu, and
With no hands.
With no hands. And we just wanted to kind of share with you guys a little bit about it, and like we said before, we're going to do a really great blog about it, and also write some stuff. Probably in our next book will be about it as well. Probably do a couple more videos as well.
Yeah, stay tuned for a newsletter this week. We're due for a newsletter for you guys.
We are.
We sort of run a casual sort of mission, and not sort of as hardcore as we kind of beat ourselves up to be. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I
don't think it's very casual, but that's okay. Mom's very hard on herself.
Yeah. But that's my story, right?
That's the story.
That's my story.
It is.
And this perfectionism wanting to share so much, and I just love being this conduit. If we can be this conduit to sharing all this magic that's in the world, and it is all around us, right? So, it would have been so cool if Gabby did some Facebook Lives right there from
it would have been neat. Yeah, it would have been cool.
That would have been really neat.
Yeah.
So we get to share this amazing stuff, and you know what? We're all on this same journey, and this is what's so true. None of us are alone. We're all on the same journey, and every story we have, be it if my husband's a jerk, or at times, or or my mother or my father, used to be a nut bar sometimes, or whatever the story is, we carry it through our lives, and. Is that true?
It's always the same story, though.
It is always the same story. We always have the same circling story. This person did this person did that. I'm screwed up from it. But when do we stop the story and become accountable for our own actions and our own life, and leading in love?
But looking at it in a positive way, right?
Yes, totally looking at it in a positive way.
Not thinking about things in a negative light, and you're attracting what you're putting out there to the universe, and that's the biggest thing, right? Is if you say, oh, I'm so stressed out, I'm so sick, I'm so this, I'm so that,
what are you gonna get?
That's what you're gonna be, right? But if you say, oh, it's such a beautiful day, I'm so grateful I have this amazing job, and I get paid money to work, and whatever it is, it's like you can look at it in a really beautiful light, or a negative light, right? And that's what you're gonna get back from the universe. So again,
we create our own shitstorms.
We do.
And we do.
Everybody does.
So don't think you don't.
Yeah, and don't think you're alone in creating your own shitstorm.
Diseases and sicknesses and bad luck and bad relationships or bad marriage or any of that stuff, we create our own shitstorms. So
do we, Kelly?
We do, and absolutely we do.
Yeah.
And that's what gets manifested. So when you lead with love and with compassion, there's things that have been in my life that last night I was like channeling and journaling at like 3:30 in the morning. I was sitting on the floor. I didn't want to wake up Erinn. I had the little book light, and we're sharing a room, and in the heat too, with no air conditioning, I was dying. But anyways, that's another story. And I'm off in the corner with my little nightlight, and I'm journaling, and I'm realizing how much resistance I have put into my life. Resistance to not experience joy, resistance to the beautiful stuff that's coming my way, and because I feel like maybe I don't deserve it, or I feel that they don't deserve my love, or they don't deserve my feelings, or whatever, and I've realized how much of resistance I put out, and I think that is classic. I think that we all put out resistance in an area in our life, and once we end up having that compassion, and that's one thing that has been very, very valuable in my marriage in particular, and again I had to talk more about it, but I may as well talk about it now too, is that Ken and I have gone through a hell of a friggin' lot, and there are a lot of things that I resented him for, big time. And when I see all the love that he has for me, and just truly wanting to serve me, and yet at many times I don't let him in because I'm resistant to that for whatever reason. I'm the one that's suffering from that.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that's creating my own shitstorm.
Yeah, it's true.
And when you release and you release all that resistance, and all this love starts coming in. It's like it comes in bountifully, like your life flows and soars on a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even beyond your love relationships. It's everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simply everything what gets attracted to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Energy
so instead of
flows.
having crappy stuff stuck to you, right? It gets repelled because you're just radiating in this much beautiful loveness.
Yeah. Energy flows where your attention goes.
Man, it's so magical.
Mm-hmm.
So magical. So excited to share this with you guys. And you know,
everybody on Instagram Live, I'm going to end this because my hand's falling asleep. But
don't do that.
But Facebook Live will continue. Okay. Bye, guys.
We're where are we now? Schenectady? I can't even pronounce these words. We're on the Highway 90
somewhere,
and we've got about 4.5 hours still to go.
Yeah.
And don't worry, we're not going to stay tuned with you guys. You'll get very bored of us very soon.
I know. No, you'll just hear us start bantering back and forth. Yeah. No, but anyways, at the end of the day, like we kind of both said now, we truly just had a really lovely, incredible, transformative experience this weekend, and it's all about these little shifts, right? These little shifts here and there that gradually you stop going to fear all the time and you go to love. You're constantly being pulled back to love. So the more you can do that and remove yourself from those fear-based thoughts that we all have, every single one of us has them. Like nobody is immune to this at all, and it's on different levels, right? So I think that the more that you can release that fear, obviously the better that you will be, which as a result you'll be better to everybody else around you.
You know, there's times that in business, because we've many times applied, like the universe has your back, like Gabby principles. You would say Dr. Wayne Dyer. I mean, there's a bunch of people that we've chosen as our gurus through life, right? That plant the seeds for us. Deepak and Tony Robbins too.
Yeah.
And when you start applying their principles, and I find I've got this kid beside me that keeps me in check very much because there's this practice that Erinn does, and that keeps her so grounded. And Erinn radiates this beautiful, grounded energy, and I know she's quite, she's beneficial to have around. Let me tell you,
she's gonna keep me around for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep her around. She's really great for the bake shop too. Like when we're there in business, and Erinn is more of a grounding force, where I tend to be more strung out.
Wow, that's good, Mom. That's hilarious.
And I push and I demand or want certain things done, and but Erinn is just this little even keel person. I don't mean little either. This even keel person that is just more grounded. And be grounded in a different way, maybe I'm grounded in a different way,
absolutely.
Right? And that there's this grounding that Erinn has that is very significant for me in my life and for my journey and what I'm experiencing and stuff. Look at that crazy looking Corvette. Is that like a really weird looking thing?
Like bright blue.
These are brand new things. It's convertible. Wow. Okay, guys, we're just looking at this really crazy car, and it looks like a blue Batmobile.
Yeah, it does. Wow. Bruce Wayne's gonna come out of that next. Anyways, so thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
It's very, very sweet.
You're welcome. And it came from doing the work with Gabby, though, because I believe that she's been very primarily, one of your biggest sources of inspiration for you in your life, and dealing with anxiety and other things that you had going on. Mm-hmm. And it was like do or die. There was a point in time when
it was like rock bottom.
I said to Erinn, I said, I'm sorry, I'm taking you into the hospital because you was 5 years ago now. 2012?
Yeah, that was kind of a
awful.
Yes.
And,
that was 5 years
she had
ago.
turned into skin and bones, and she looked, emaciated. Her eyes were bulging out of her head because she was so dehydrated, and nothing was staying in her. And I was flipping out, and we hadn't even opened up the bake shop yet, but we were trying to that year. It was that summer.
It was a year before. But there's been a lot of things that have happened, which I'm going to share with everybody in a future time. But yeah, it's just there's so many great resources out there, and honestly, from my personal experience, I cannot recommend Gabby Bernstein enough. Like, she is absolutely incredible. Like, I love everything about her, everything that she stands for, and she approaches everything in such a real way, and such a very transparent and, you know, user-friendly way, in a sense. And that's what I truly love about her. And she's given me the tools I need to be a better me for everybody else around
Totally.
me. So yeah, we're very grateful.
That's what we all want, right? Is to be a really good parent. I think that's for a lot of us, that's our number one biggest job.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how old you are. You know, you can be 53, you can be 73, you can be 23, you know, and be a new mom or a new dad. And it doesn't matter what stage in life that you decide to make that shift and drop the dramas and drop the stories and drop the bullshit. And so just going to say it as it is, because the stories just keep on getting repeated and told and recycled. And when you start feeling that first ounce of suffering in your body, that's when you know that you're telling yourself a story that's not working for you. And it's your story. And so that's why it's important to pull yourself out of that. And whoever's giving you that trigger to go into your suffering state of mind, give them compassion, give them forgiveness, understand what your part is in it, because normally what happens too is that they're reflecting something in ourselves.
They're always reflecting.
So that's what you have to pay attention to. Though instead of the blame game, because the blame game and the shame game does not get you anywhere. And those are very low vibrational frequency places to keep your heart centered at. And you pull yourself out of that and you decide to look at someone with love instead, and compassion instead, and forgiveness instead, and gratitude instead. That's when the magic starts happening, and that's
Miracles.
when the cycles stop happening in your relationships. So.
Well said.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys have a lovely rest of your Sunday afternoon. I'm not sure what the weather's like in Burlington. It's beautiful here right now, actually, for driving, because the sun is in the clouds.
Yeah, the sun's in the clouds.
It's kind of lovely.
It's diffused light.
It's lovely.
Not raining yet.
But yeah, we're going to be home in a few hours from now, but we're on our way home, and we're going to probably listen to some audiobooks on our way home and learn a little bit more and do some more reflecting. But like we said, we're going to share some more information on kellyandErinn.com. Probably do another vlog about it as well. But yeah, just stay tuned for some more tidbits of information from this really amazing weekend at Kripalu with Gabby Bernstein.
If there's something that you can do for this afternoon, is maybe just plant this new seed in your heart and just live the rest of your day today just in a state of gratitude. And try lead with love. And when you feel like blame is coming through you, some sort of thing, someone that you want to blame for something, step back, count to 10, and now look at them with compassion. And understand how they could be possibly feeling that way. And I guarantee, we guarantee, that it's going to change the rest of your day.
Absolutely. It's true.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love you guys.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Bye. Have an awesome day.
Bye.